Okay, so I'm going to use this as a YouTube video.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to
Every day it's macaroni.
I'm Joy Alfred Brand.
And I'm Juliet Connell, and we're the hosts of Everyday Macaroni, the podcast.
This podcast is a look at the lighter side of life, where we talk about our adventures as a modern blended family.
So sit back, relax,
and prepare to have your funny bone tickled. Well, hello, listener. This episode of Everyday Macaroni has so much going on in it. To start off with, this is our first official videotaped podcast episode. And yes, I know it isn't really videotaped, but I'm a child of the 80s, so you know what I mean. We recorded this podcast episode on camera, so you can watch us and listen to us on our YouTube channel. Yay! Having said that, bear with us as we get the technological stuff worked out. For real, it's making me go cross-eyed and I can't stop sweating, which is saying something because it's not really hot outside. It's a lot to get right. So, before we jump into our topic for this podcast episode, which is macaroni personal injury, what I want to do is take just a second. If you're new to the podcast, this podcast is based on the recordings from our Monday night family dinners that I had with my husband, Ron, my sister-in-law, Juliet, who is also a co-host of this podcast, and their octogenarian parents, Al and Lita, who immigrated to the U.S. from Spain and Uruguay in approximately the 1950s, and you just can't buy entertainment like this. You really can't. You're welcome. Now, what is the macaroni personal injury case that we want to talk about, and why is it so funny? You're about to find out. Without further ado, let's jump into this podcast episode, starting with a little discussion between Julia and I about technological stuff. All right. Action. There we go. That way I can sync it.
Oh, I gotcha.
See?
Okay.
You see? Well, I'm totally sweating like bad. It's astounding how much I'm sweating.
Do we need a box fan in here?
Something, man. All right. Now I can take a breath. Now I feel like I can calm down. I tell you, all this new technology, it's really not new technology. It's just me learning it. It makes me sweat. It makes me nervous.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, technology makes a lot of people sweat.
I'm stretching.
Right. And that's good. And vulnerability, right?
It gives me...
That's
the tummy rumbles. That's what it gives me.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
So this is also kind of our first foray into putting this on video.
Right.
This is a little bit new for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And that's because just trying to get the YouTube channel going.
I know.
Without me having to...
Like, wait a minute. Let me...
Right.
I'm on camera. Hold on a second.
I do. I feel exactly that way. But since this is kind of a spur of the moment thing, and we know that there are still tweaks to be made. We know that it looks like I'm sitting in the dark over here when I have all this light on me. I get it. I get there's tweaks that need to be done here, but
we'll get it.
We're moving forward. We're stepping outside of our comfort zone here a little bit with the video and the whatnot. And by the way, if you're listening and not watching, you should be watching. You can find us on our YouTube channel, and you can watch us in the flesh reacting to all this craziness that's going on. But anyway, what are you going to do?
There is something to be said about doing a podcast, and it's all just listening, you know, and you don't see that person. And then once you do, you're like, there's so much more to think about.
Like,
you're like, wait a minute.
That person looks dead.
Wait, is that a hair coming out of their ear?
Oh,
what
yeah.
is that?
Hair coming out of something.
Oh, God.
That's bad. But, you know, that is something to think about. You listen to somebody and you then finally see them someday, and the voice is not what you expected.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Casey Kasem one of those. You're like, oh, yeah, listen to him. Listen to that voice. And you're like, wait, what?
He was like 5 feet tall. He was very short, wasn't he?
He was tiny, yeah.
He also did the voice of Scooby-Doo. Listener, you know I had to fact check this one. According to Wikipedia, Casey Kasem was an American DJ, actor, and radio personality who created and hosted several radio countdown programs, most notably American Top 40. He was the first actor to voice Norval Shaggy Rogers. I bet you didn't know that was Shaggy's name, Norval Rogers. In the Scooby-Doo franchise from 1969 to 1997, he also voiced Dick Grayson, Batman's Robin, in Super Friends from 1973 to 1985. Kasem began hosting the original American Top 40 on the weekend of July 4th, 1970. How about that? He also founded the American Video Awards in 1983 and continued to co-produce and host it until its final show in 1987. Kasem also provided many commercial voiceovers, performed many voices for children's television such as Sesame Street and the Transformers cartoon series, which I did not know that, and was the voice of NBC and helped with the annual Jerry Lewis telethon.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
I actually got to see him in person one time.
Really?
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame grand opening in Cleveland, which is a strange place to put that museum, but I did my first year of law school there, so I was there during the grand opening of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they had the Barristers Ball there. Yeah, I might have some pictures of that. I'll see if I can look around and dig them up. I might.
Funny that they call it the Barristers Ball, because we don't call attorneys barristers, do we?
No, we call them bastards.
Well, there is that too. Ouch.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm speaking ill of my own kind, and that's not good for everybody out
but
there.
But at least it's allowed, right?
Right. 'Cause
you're one of them. So.
Right. I know from whence I came, right? No, but I just had to take the opportunity. It was like, that was a wide open shot there.
I was like, is that a pronunciation?
That's so funny. Okay, so we have special things to talk about today.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we always?
We always do. We always do. But this one was a little scary at first.
Well, yeah. Yes and no. I mean, when my dad starts talking, I mean, we knew that the two of them were still alive because, you know,
right,
they were there.
Sitting there. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't you just take us back, Joy?
Okay. Many, many moons ago, we were having a Monday night family dinner, and your dad, this is before he started doing his own foot surgery.
Right.
Your dad had some ingrown toenails cut out, right? He's always had problems with his ingrown toenails, I think.
Yeah.
Which started the whole issue, which ended up with him spending a couple of weeks in the hospital last year.
Yeah, I think he calls it self-care.
Okay, self-care. Oh, wait a minute. Self-care in cutting his own toenails or self-care in spending 2 weeks away from your mother?
Well, I guess it all depends on what we're talking about.
That's so not funny. It's bad. But okay. So a few years ago, he had some ingrown toenails surgically removed, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was Monday night dinner, and we all went over there, and your dad had his, I think it was his right foot, all bandaged up, right? Mm-hmm. And in a big
right toe,
his big fluffy slipper on it, right? But you could look down and see he had it. It was really bandaged up in a big, soft, fluffy slipper. And so there we are in the kitchen getting ready to have dinner, and your mother.
Right. Well, and keep in mind too, right? So there's a lot of us there. So it's both my parents, it's me, and it's you and Ron. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people around that island. And my dad is walking around, and my mother is, getting plates out and everything else. And the rest of us are kind of just like moping around and talking or whatever. So it's packed in there.
First of all, you got to picture the kitchen. The kitchen's a rectangle, and in the center is this big rectangular island, right? And on one end is the refrigerator. And so your dad was kind of stuck in that corner right next to the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And your mother was backing up because here's her chance to talk, right?
That's right.
In the week. Here's her chance to be around her favorite people, the only people in the world she cares about, really, and talk. Mm-hmm. So she starts talking. The second we all walk in the door, and is still talking practically when she's waving goodbye from the porch. Right? So she's talking, and she's backing up. So she's got her back to the refrigerator, and your dad is on the other side of the refrigerator, right? And she's backing up, and pow! Yeah. She steps on his foot.
Yeah, accidentally steps on that well-bandaged toe.
Right. And you hear Al go, ow! Oh, Lita! Oh. Right?
And immediately, instead of being sorry that it happened.
Oh, no. What does she say? She says,
she's like, what were you doing there? Why would you put your foot out?
Why are you standing there? You saw me coming. In the law, we would call this, he had the last clear chance to avoid the accident rule, right? So he is partly negligent.
Right. Yeah, what were you doing there? Not, I am so
your
sorry.
Fault you were standing there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, incident numero uno, right? So then, little later on in the evening, right? We're all sitting around the table. Al is sitting at the end of the table there.
Yeah, he's at the head of the table there.
And he's between the china cabinet and the table, right? And he's sitting there, and he's got his foot stuck out a little bit because don't forget, giant bandage around the foot, right? Because he's had the big surgery on his foot, right? So there he's sitting there with his bandaged foot sticking out a little bit, and she comes in to serve the coffee.
Right.
Right? And then what happens? Pow!
Right.
She steps on his foot again a second time. And again he goes, ow! Arlita, Leo!
I was here. I was here.
And she says to him, Ay, Aldo, why are you sitting with your foot like that sticking out? Especially because you know it's bothering you. Or whatever it was she said.
Yeah.
Why are you sitting like that with your foot sticking out outside of the table? This is your fault. And he's just sitting there minding his own business.
Incident number 2. That thing must be throbbing at this point.
Right. You know it had to be painful.
Yeah.
You know it had to, and that poor guy, and we were all laughing.
Well, we were all laughing because there was no, I don't know, remorse.
Oh my God.
Like,
no remorse.
Holy cow.
Zero.
Not only does he have to deal with a throbbing toe, right? And the post-surgical pain that whatever that was. But on top of that, he almost felt like he needed to say, oh, I'm sorry, you stepped on my own toe.
Right.
What?
Right. Poor fella.
And she was just like very adamant. I don't understand why you would put your foot out like that. And the rest of us are like, wait, what?
What's happening? Okay. So we have established a pattern of unfortunate activity there around just personal injury type stuff. I don't know that I would necessarily call this personal injury. I would call it kind of like a lesser form of personal injury, you know?
Yeah.
So the goal
is this not called spousal abuse?
No, I mean, she's not there's no intent. There's no willful intent here.
Thank you, my personal attorney.
You're welcome. That'll be $7,000. Yeah.
This episode of Everyday Macaroni the Podcast has been brought to you by the almost fake macaroni personal injury attorneys at law, Dewey, Cheatham & Howe, your one-stop small-town pizza lawyer shop, specializing in the minimally negligent bedtime wax, pasta sauce slip and falls, and random willful and wanton wifey foot stompings that are apparently genetic in nature. Call us today for your fake-free consultation on our macaroni telephone at 919-729-2043. We promise absolutely nothing at all. And now, back to our podcast episode in progress.
So, no, what's happening here is the prize here is who gets to assign the most blame.
Right.
So,
well, I have a feeling they're just like losing the ability to judge a situation, and they're just like, all right, move on. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, you got hit by that ball. Get up, dust off, and
Rub
go.
some dirt on it.
Right. I know.
Walk it off.
I know. I'm sorry. Did you get sliced? No. Just stick a Band-Aid on that.
But, when you are in close proximity to somebody like that in a small space, that kind of thing happens once in a while. I mean, I know that Ron has whacked me accidentally doing something, and I think stepped on him accidentally doing something, or, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you that when Caitlin met Robbie and then he had surgery on his foot due to the accident, almost the identical thing happened. He was standing behind her.
First of all, the reason he had to have surgery.
Well, he had to have surgery because I think
Caitlin encouraged him.
To
try skateboarding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he wound up breaking his foot and having to have surgery.
I know.
Right?
It was like a foot almost broken in half. I think all his... What did we say? Metatarsals were all cut in half. So.
I do the legal part of it. You gotta do the cat surgery part of it. I don't know.
As my mom says, you'd make such a good doctor. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, and we have a clip of her saying that too, by the way.
Dude.
You are very good on remember names of medicines, and I remember you and Papa operating on the cat and things like that. I could never do those things.
There is that.
Those things I could do.
She could be a good cat doctor.
Same thing. You know Spanish.
Here, kitty.
One cats speak Spanish.
See, my name is Puss in Botas.
Speak to the cats in Spanish. And you're not afraid
I need a cat doctor.
You're not afraid to cut anybody.
And Papa is not afraid to cut anybody either. I mean, that's
including
still
himself.
one. I suppose he was playing doctor and she was a nurse. But they were both very good at it.
Sounds a little
Very
weird,
good. I
but
could never do that.
They should have operated on you.
Yes.
Taking care of some of that.
Now, some of your ears might have flopped a little bit.
well, that's right. He cut the nerve on the ear. Yeah.
And I use a Gillette,
A Gillette.
What?
A razor, Gillette.
a razor, a Gillette, instead of the Victory
Instead of a scalpel.
or scalpel here. Okay. Pero it come out right.
Yeah.
Except for the whole ear
Yeah.
working,
Except for the ear.
flopping over.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
That's it.
So,
But yeah, the same thing happened. He was standing behind her. His foot was, bandaged, I think, at that point. And she walked backwards and stepped right on that particular foot. And I thought to myself, I mean, all I could do was sit
And he goes,
and
"Ow!"
laugh because I was like, oh boy.
but the difference here is Caitlin did have remorse.
She did. She
Said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
I know. Yeah.
Whereas your mother was like,
Hey.
it's your fault.
Why'd you stick that over there? You knew I was going to take this path.
Right? Why can't you read my mind? Mm-hmm. All right. So fast forward a few years and we have another situation we got to think of a funny word for personal injury like this. It's like not really personal injury, but it kind of is. And it's not intentional, but it's kind of like, whoops.
I don't even know. It's just like,
It's like the whoops, my bad kind of personal injury, right? Grape ape personal injury.
I don't know.
The Grape Ape family personal injury attorney. I'm just a small town pizza lawyer.
Oh gosh. Yeah. This was hysterical. And to hear my dad at first describe what had happened, you're trying to, I don't know, piece together what he's saying because you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I think there's something missing in this story. And then she takes over and she's saying her bit.
As
and
she's
I'm
wont
like,
to do.
Were you two in the same car? Like,
So it did take a minute to sort it out, to kind of figure out.
yeah, it totally did. Yeah. You got to be ready with questions, for these things.
It's like a deposition. It's like a Grape Ape deposition. I don't know why the whole situation to me, this whole podcast is like, oh, this is like some type of ongoing personal injury case, right? Okay, so at this point in the clip that we're about to play, Al and Lita have come in and Lita's walking a little funny and she has said to everybody that she's fallen, right?
Right.
So she told everybody that she fell. It's not funny. I'm sorry. It's not funny. I don't want her to be in pain or anything.
And we were all a little bit surprised. We're like,
We were
wait,
surprised.
Fall? Where'd you
Right.
fall? What happened?
Right. So she's told everyone that she fell. And here you're about to hear the story of how she actually fell.
Yeah.
Let's just let the clip speak for itself. All right, here we go.
But
Did you fall out of the car onto pavement?
no, what
Aaron.
happened is Papa parked the car and I come out. At this time that I'm walking out, the car starts going poo, 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 poo.
Yeah, the noise.
The noise because
That's the car
of
alarm.
this.
The car alarm goes
Right.
off.
The panic button.
The panic
It was
button.
in my pocket.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like I hit him when I was trying to go out. That's all.
He grape aped
And
it.
I couldn't.
Put it in his pocket and he
Yeah.
couldn't get it out.
You
Right.
could not get him in nothing. And so naturally at this time I coming out, I went like that. Oh, what is that? And boom, because the curve was here, I stepped in the curve and boom, fell.
Okay, so now at this point, I wasn't sure if she was getting in the car or getting out of the car.
Right. She was getting out of the car. And when my dad got out of the car simultaneously, he had the keys in his pocket and somehow hit the panic button on the key fob, which started the alarm on the car
Going off.
And it
Right.
scared my mother to turn around. When she turned around, she fell because the curb was right there.
And she was close by it, right?
And she was close by, yeah.
Okay, but wait, there's more.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
okay.
And then I was trying to get up. I
That's
get
very
up
good.
halfway, and I see the car moving, and I'm going, oh my God,
Car moving.
the car was moving because Papa was trying to touch the buttons and shut off the button.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do
No,
with
no, no, look, nothing happened. She doesn't know how to explain to you, and you were intended in the wrong way. All right? I park it where I'm supposed to park, right? And the disabled.
Oh,
thing.
so you have one, right?
So, yeah, it's an island,
Don't
right?
interrupt,
It has
otherwise.
trees and the island. And the car was too near to the shoulder, and when she stepped on the thing,
Cheap out.
I think when she saw or heard the car, he tripped in the shoulder. So it fell into the little island. And then,
Yeah, but I fell twice.
And then she was getting up, and I tried to pull the car a little this way so she couldn't get up.
So wait.
So,
Okay.
if you didn't already get all that, my mom fell twice. Once when she opened the door and must have either not twisted her ankle, but hit the curb because my dad parked right next to one of those
Right.
little islands, you know,
Right.
with the curbs around it. And then the car alarm, as she gets up, you know, and when she says fall, I don't think she fell to the ground the first time, right? So she kind of got up, and by the time she got up, the alarm in the car went off, or at least this is how
No.
and she turned
No.
around and fell back down.
Now, see, it's happening all over again. We're getting Macaroni confused here. This is Twisted Macaroni. No, here's my understanding of what happened. She got out of the car. He got out of the car.
Right.
And he put the keys in his pocket and grape aped it
Right.
and somehow hit the panic button.
Right.
Okay? And then the car alarm scared her and she fell.
Uh-huh.
Right? Now, by this time, your dad's trying to get the keys out of his pocket so he can turn off
Right.
the panic button. Okay? So she's down on the ground. She starts getting up, right? Your dad's fully aware of what's going on. She falls again somehow, and he decides the smart thing to do is to turn the car on and try to move the car in some way to get her clear of the car so she can stand up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Or it could
yeah.
be the other way. Here's the alternate choose your own adventure ending, right? Or like Clue, right? There's 4 different endings. It could have been like this. It could have been that they were trying to get into the car, and your dad was trying to get the keys out of his pocket, hit the panic button, right?
Right.
And the alarm scared her. She fell. By this time, didn't realize it, had gotten into the car, turned it on. She's trying to get up, and he had moved the car, tried to start moving the car a little bit to get her clear of it so she could get up.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Roll the footage. Let's see what.
Roll the beautiful bean footage. Okay, here's the rest of it. Okay.
No, I didn't move the car.
wait, so you did move the car?
No, I was going to. At that time, already was 3 people there trying to help her.
4 guys and a
To get up.
woman.
Witnesses.
Trying to help you get up out of the bushes.
Yes.
So you fell into
No, it was not.
No bushes. No bushes.
Okay.
No, it's a plain, how do you call it?
Just plain island.
Mulch, yeah.
Were you screaming, don't touch me, don't touch me?
No.
And you fell?
I was so embarrassed.
So
I was so
when you
embarrassed.
We're gonna get you a life alert.
after you fell the first time, you tried moving the car.
Right.
So on the ground,
I don't
Yeah.
try to move. The car, it was.
It moved by
running.
itself.
It was still running.
I was trying to shut off the beep.
Yeah.
I was trying to shut off the beep.
A man came in on the side. He said, "Let me try. Give me your keys."
Right.
Yeah. And I really forgot about the panic button wasn't the key. So he went out and he shut it off.
yeah.
All right.
No,
but
but
the car moved a little
Yeah, well,
backward,
it's...
a little
wait.
backward, but that's it.
So the car was
A little
running,
backward.
and it actually rolled back a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was people behind the car and everything. And
No, I was almost behind.
There was nothing out of this world.
No, it was.
out of this world.
It
I
was
almost
in this
ran
world.
her over
It
and
was
4
in
other
the parking
people.
lot of Lowe's food store.
Was that today?
No,
No,
it
no.
was yesterday.
Wow.
This today?
No,
The day before.
guys.
The day before.
Well, that's something.
Or do you need Dad to look at your arm?
No, I'm
No,
okay.
it doesn't.
What's your hurt? Your hip?
My colitis. A little bit, but I have good cushion, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh
But
boy. How do we explain that one?
I don't know if we can be any more clear about this. I don't know if they were getting into the car or getting out of the car. I don't know. All I know is now somewhere out there, there's apparently 4 witnesses who very nearly got run over trying to help this poor little old lady up off her kulili or whatever. You know? And shut off the beep. Shut off the beep.
That's right. So my dad didn't realize that or forgot that to shut the alarm off, he had to use the key. And I guess he went back into the car thinking that he was going to shut something off. I'm not quite sure what. But meanwhile, he puts the car in reverse and tries to move it while there were, witnesses and good Samaritans lifting her up. Yeah, but it was nothing. You see, it was nothing. No big deal.
Nothing. No, it was nothing. No.
All in a day at Lowe's.
All in an everyday macaroni personal injury situation.
That's right.
I don't know. There's a joke in here about torts and tortellini or something like that. I don't know. But for those of you out there who have done first year law school classes, you'll appreciate that joke. No one else will, but I did think it was funny.
Okay, listener, did any of you catch Lita's comment about landing on her kulilis? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that fake word right. If you've listened to our fake swear words episode, you know that means she landed on her little butt. Thank you, Juliet, for that translation. To wind up this episode, we have one more coolie story for you. If you've been watching our Instagram account, you know that Al recently went to the hospital to have a heart valve replaced. And don't worry, it went very well and he's feeling good, so all's well there. That doesn't mean he didn't have a little trouble with his hospital gown, which we're going to talk about in this final story.
Right after surgery, they don't want patients laying around that
Right.
getting up and circulation and whatnot,
Right.
and feeling better. So the nurses get him up, and here they go, and he's saying, the nurses get me up and take me for a walk. And the gowns, just like everybody knows, the gowns only tie on two ends, right? And it's almost as if they tie just above your
Coolie.
Your coolie. Here you're walking around and your derriere is
Hanging out.
in in the wide open spaces of
But
the
it was
hospital.
funny. It was funny how he was talking about it. It was funny.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The nurse once in a while he covered me up.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's talking
only
about
heard
him
bare
wearing
ass.
Hulu.
No, they
No, all right.
No. I didn't hear the whole
And you
conversation.
hope it's a clean Hulu.
I say when I was in the
Ron.
hospital, they took me for a walk or around.
He took me
right?
for a walk like he's a dog.
And my ass was showing. Right. And the nurse came behind me and kind of
boy.
covered it up.
Usually, if they know that you're in one of those things, they take another gown and they put it on backwards. So you
Backwards,
put, you know what I mean, so that the one side is solid.
It's a mess. It's okay. The nurses and everything, they're good.
He likes
They're
nurses,
good,
but
they're good.
the
But
hospital in general.
The system that they have is archaico.
Archaical.
They put me the monitor for the heart.
It's archaic.
It's
Archaical.
It's like the phone, but it's thicker like this, right? And they hook you up with it all over here, the chest and so, and then they put them in a pocket that this had, right? Well, it's so heavy that the garment it goes down here. If you go like this. Boom! You get out and bang, and goes against the floor.
And then you're not just bare-assed.
Yeah.
Then you're showing everybody the full Monty.
And one of these days, one day it fell in my
You
foot.
need something.
You know, and I have the foot like this on top of it.
Once again,
I
there's
said,
that
"Look,
foot.
why don't you put a button or something to hold it?
Yeah. So he had some definite issues staying modest
That's right.
in the hospital.
Yeah, I don't know that modesty is one of their priorities at the hospital.
Well, so yeah.
Well, and that kind of covers like what we normally talk about at Monday night dinners.
Oh
So we may not go there for the food,
no,
but the stories.
you can't beat it.
Yeah, I don't know that you're going to find that at a regular family at a family event.
And what's funny is a lot of people have said that there's some similarity between Everybody Loves Raymond and what goes on at Everyday Macaroni Monday Night Dinners. But the difference is there were a bunch of highly paid writers making up that whole family and that whole situation. And this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the real deal. This is what really happens, this kind of thing.
I know. Does that open us up to be, writers for one of those shows?
Maybe.
I mean, what do they say about real life and
Truth is stranger than fiction.
That's right. And doesn't real life imitate
Art.
Art
Art
maybe
imitates
that's
life.
not.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting that right.
I don't know. I don't even have access to Quick Draw Google because I have every possible device I own connected to all of this.
Well, listeners, looks like another macaroni disaster has been averted thanks to absolutely no one's quick thinking in what could have been otherwise a real macaroni personal injury incident in the supermarket parking lot. Fortunately, the car wasn't going fast and Lita had her well-padded kulilis, I don't know how to pronounce it, buttocks, to help break her fall. It could have been a whole lot worse, and we are very thankful that it wasn't. Seriously, we really are. Also, shout out to all the good Samaritans who came to her aid and managed to stop the beep. See, there are still decent people in this world who know how to operate the buttons on these newfangled fancy car key fobs. Seriously, the only reason we can joke about this is because no one got hurt. Seriously, for real. So remember, all you grandparents out there, please, 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 please do not try this at home. And don't forget to give us a call on our Macaroni phone at 919-729-2043 if you have an equally fun, uplifting, and non-dangerous story to tell. So until next time, this has been a public service announcement from the Geriatric Stunt Persons Association of America telling you that no grandparents were harmed during the filming of this episode.
I hope you enjoyed listening and sharing a laugh or two with us. Stay tuned for more Everyday Macaroni adventures on future podcast episodes. And if you want to see some pictures of us, you can follow us on Instagram by searching @EverydayMacaroni or #EverydayMacaroni. In fact, you should be able to find us on YouTube soon. Just search Everyday Macaroni on YouTube and our new channel should pop up. If you want to shop for some fun macaroni merch, head over to everydaymacaroni.com. Don't forget, if you have a blended family story to share, email us at info@everydaymacaroni.com and put the word share in the subject line. Your story might end up on a future episode, and how fun would that be? Finally, don't forget to give us a good review and download your favorite episodes. A share wouldn't hurt either. The more interaction we get for the podcast, the more episodes we can post. Again, thanks for listening, and join us for the next episode of
Every day.